John Riley had spent over 20 years as one of the world's deadliest assassins, but now he was tired. His body ached from the endless violence, his mind weary from a lifetime of erasing faces. He wanted out. But in his line of work, there was no peaceful retirement, only the killer's game. The rules were simple. Put a hit on yourself? Every assassin in the world gets notified and they come for you. If you survive 72 hours, you're free. If not, it doesn't matter anymore. After a lifetime of running from death, John decided to face it head on. He made the call. The game was on. The first hit came within the hour. A young, overeager assassin broke into John's apartment. John waited in the shadows, watching the kid fumble with his gun. One shot, and it was over. The kid's body hit the floor. John felt no satisfaction, just a grim understanding that this was only the beginning. By the end of the first day, John had killed 3 more. They were amateurs, reckless and hungry for glory. He knew the real threats would come later, the ones who knew his tactics, his weaknesses. The city had become a battlefield, and John moved through it like a ghost, staying ahead of his hunters, setting traps, changing locations. On the second day, 2 professionals tracked him to an abandoned warehouse. They were fast, coordinated, and nearly ended him. A bullet grazed his side, but John survived, though wounded. He bandaged himself up and kept moving, knowing the hardest part was yet to come. The final day arrived, and the city felt smaller. John's energy was fading, his body slowing down. He found refuge on the roof of an old hotel, the skyline stretching out before him. He checked his watch. Just 1 hour left. Then, she appeared. Maria. John froze. They had been lovers once, years ago, before the darkness consumed them both. Now she stood before him, a gun in hand, her eyes cold and steady. I didn't think you'd come, John said, exhausted. I had to, she replied. Her voice was soft, but her intent was clear. For a moment, they stood in silence, the weight of their past hanging heavy between them. John thought about surrendering, about letting the clock run out. But no, he had come too far. They fired simultaneously. John felt the impact and collapsed, expecting to die. But when he looked down, he saw Maria lying next to him, her breath fading, a faint smile on her lips. You were always faster, she whispered. As the final seconds of the killer's game ticked away, John Riley stood alone on that rooftop, free at last. But in the silence, he wondered what freedom meant when everything he had once cared for was gone.